Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to show you how to boot a Cisco router from a TFTP server. Here you can see we're currently booted from Flash, and that's what we're about to change. First thing we're going to do is go to Control Panel, Windows Firewall, and we're going to turn off my firewall because right now that's blocking my TFTP server and I don't want that. I'm also going to turn off my connection to the internet. I'm just directly connected to this router via my Ethernet line. So there's that. Now we're going to go into the TFTP server, into configure, and we're going to start it. This is a SolarWinds TFTP server. It's free and it's awesome. So now we're binding the IP address to the TFTP server, and we're going to run a ping from the router to the server to make sure we have connectivity. And we're good. Even though it's redundant, I'm going to go into the command prompt, and I'm going to ping the router from the server. And we have success. So now we're going to do a show run, and you can see we're booting from system flash. We're going to do no boot system flash. The reason being, I do not want the router going to flash first and then going to TFTP. So I'm going to get rid of that command, put in boot system TFTP, and then put boot system flash back in. That way the router will first try to boot from TFTP, and if that fails, it will then revert to flash. So here I'm going into my TFTP root file, and I'm just going to copy and paste the name out of there. If you try to type this stuff in by hand and you make one tiny mistake on it, your router is going to try and boot from TFTP. It's going to fail, and it's going to take 20 freaking minutes for it to figure out that it needs to boot from flash. And so just copy and paste it. It's way faster and you make less mistakes. So I made a mistake copying and pasting it. Talk about sticking your foot in your mouth. Gotta love it. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to put in the IP address right behind that file name, 100.0.0.2. And then I'm going to check the whole command and make sure I put it in properly. Looks good. Now we're going to say boot system flash. And it's going to be the same exact thing that was already in there. We just wanted it to be second instead of first. All right, now we're going to do a write memory to put this in the startup configuration, because otherwise when you reload the router, it's just going to lose it, and it's going to still boot from flash because you never put it in the startup config. There we see TFTP first, flash second in my startup configuration. So we're ready to reload this router. And here I abridged the boot up pretty significantly for y'all. I figured you didn't want to spend 10 minutes watching this thing boot. So here we go. If you look up at the TFTP server in just a second, there we see it. You've got a GET request coming in. The router is looking for its iOS. And you see all the little exclamation points running across the bottom of the CLI. That is the router telling you that it is successfully downloading the iOS from the TFTP server, of course. So that part's good. If you go back up to the TFTP server now, you can see it's on that top GET request, it's saying it's completed the file download. So that's a good thing. And we're pretty much booted up here. We're going to go into privileged exec, do a show run, and we've still got the same stuff we put in there before. Now we're going to do a show version, and you can see instead of showing system image file is booted from flash, it says it's booted from TFTP. So I'd like to thank you all very much and come again.